Hey guys, welcome back to my VOD reviews. It's Proelios here, and today I'm going to be doing one map by the Atlanta Reign and the Boston Uprising, which they played at the Kit Kat Rivalry weekend, which is Stage 4, Week 5. So today we are going to take a look at Lijiang Tower. It's a control map, and just before we go into this match, you guys know that the Rain played this role lock meta really well in Stage 4, and the Uprising were really bad at it. So it's one insanely good team versus one insanely bad team in this meta. Let's go and see what happens. This is Lijiang Tower. Also gonna try and keep the video
Ready
shorter.
for battle.
Gonna try and keep this shorter than usual today. I don't want to go on rambling for a long time. So I think whom we are going to start off spectating is Pokpo from the Atlanta Reign, the main tank, and he's going to be playing the Orisa. And I know that I've spectated him in the past before, but this is a new map, so obviously you'll get to see some different gameplay, and it's a different set of opponents. So that's that. That's that. So yeah, Pokpo Orisa, the same job as I've always said: apply shield pressure, uh, frontline for your team, create space for them. That's simply what Pokpo wants to be doing. Let's see how he does playing around this team. Baby Way might just stick on the Symmetra. I don't know. I haven't watched this match or this map being played before. So let's see what happens.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Round 1. Capture the objective.
Teleporter online. I have opened the path.
For your safety, please move behind the barrier.
Allow me to repair the damage.
Routing navigation system to defend.
Double kill.
Barrier taking possession of the objective.
Alright, that's one fight done. And you saw this really clever tactic from the Atlanta Reign. They used Symmetra's teleporter to get up on this window. And then just, they already had Lucio's speed boost with them, which the Uprising did not have. And so the Rain ended up getting point presence really early. And Baby Bay was able to set up his turrets in really good positions and just prevent the Uprising from like getting onto point without getting fragged out. So really good technique because a bunker is always better. Like it's always easier to play a bunker on defense than on offense. Remember that. So yeah, that's what happened there. Good job by Pokpo. Good job by Baby Way. Let's move on to the next team fight. And whom should I spectate? I think I'm gonna spectate Persia, who's playing the Moira right now, and obviously he's dead. Let's wait for him to respawn. But nobody has the ultimate yet. So right now Persia's role is quite important since he can actually bypass Popo's shield with his biotic orb. And even though FRD can eat it, which is a bit of a threat, we need to see how Persia is able to manage that cooldown such that he can get value out of it, and also not get it eaten by the Diva. So let's spectate Persia on this one.
Perhaps a new methodology is required.
For your own safety, get behind the barrier.
I'm restoring.
Resting you.
This will heal you. My ultimate is almost charged. Surrender to my will. The Mahal. Repairing the damage.
Establishing defense point.
Allow me to repair the damage.
Alright, so that happened. We saw Persia get his Coalescence in that fight, and he just kind of threw it out immediately as soon as he got it. And that's really what you should be doing as Moira, since Coalescence is fairly easy to charge up. Also, it can bypass barriers, which means it could go through Pokepo's barrier as well as baby-based Photon barrier. So, and of course, you saw Persia focusing on healing his team more than, going DPS Moira, which we see sometimes on ladder. Um, as Moira, you just want to be healing your team when they need those heals, and in your downtime, you want to be recharging your healing using your biotic grasp. So, unfortunately, the Uprising lost that fight, but still not bad play from Persia. Um, now, I think I'm going to spectate Earthster for the next fight. He's got his Blizzard up, and what he needs to do right now, like I keep on saying, is like make sure the Diva does not eat it when he uses it. And obviously, wait, hang on. You guys see this choke? Like there are multiple chokes on this map where May can just wall enemies off, and her team can then finish them off since they are singled out. So Erster really wants to be looking at getting one of these isolation walls up and getting his blizzard, like getting use of his blizzard. Unfortunately, the blizzard is such that it will likely not catch the pharmacy in it. It fusions on the Orisa can also use his fortify and walk out of it. Blase could potentially eat it or just fly out of its radius, and Stellar could also use Wraith Form to escape it. So it's going to be challenging to get value out of this ultimate against a team that can escape its effects fairly easily. But for that, they need to have the cooldowns, and we need to spectate what exactly Erster does and if at all he gets value out of this blizzard.
Supercharger is ready to be deployed. Please move behind the barrier.
Teleporter online.
Justice
Almost
from above. Cease your resistance. Cease your resistance.
Gale the Mahal!
Not
Gale the Mahal!
Defense matrix. Time to raise my APM. Ouch. Defense matrix activated.
Overtime. Score 1-0. Ready for battle.
Alright, fairly easy point win for the Rain. We spectated Erster in that last team fight initially, and we saw him do something really clever, which is use Babyface teleporter to go behind the Uprising, and then he triggers Blizzard. But unfortunately for him, Blase was a bit cleverer, and he was able to turn his defense matrix and catch that Blizzard, which is quite commendable for someone who doesn't normally play Diva. That was really good by Blase, but unfortunately the Rain just played that fight better and ended up winning that point. So we are onto a new map now, the Gardens, which allow for a bit more of mobility comps to be played. You see a lot of dive here, especially Hammond, since he can boop players off the map. So let's see if these two teams end up sticking to what we see on the screen right now. And let's just continue spectating Erster. Let's see if we can catch more of his gameplay in this clip.
Ready for battle. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Round 2. Capture the objective.
So yeah, it seems like these teams are going to stick to the mobility bunkers. Erster's back on the May, so let's see what kind of value he gets this time.
Hi.
My will made real.
Let's get you healed up.
for your own safety.
Nothing's
Get
gonna
behind
stop.
the barrier. Enemy visually constrained.
The objective is now
起来吧！Lock them up.
Yeah, let's pick it up.
Defense matrix activated.
Coming up. I'm on fire.
안녕.
So that's a one team fight for them. So one important thing we saw Urster do in that team fight is when he saw a group of his enemies in front of him, he stopped going for the icicle shots and instead went for the left click, which is the main freeze. And that's really important to do and like extremely useful as me because remember your freeze beam, it goes through your opponent. So if someone is standing behind the opponent directly in front of you, they will also get frozen if they are within your beam's radius. So, if you walk into a clump of enemies and you have your team with you, just go for the left clicks, freeze your opponents, and like your teammates will definitely follow up on that and deal some damage. So that's how the Rain ended up winning that team fight. And now we see three ultimates online from one from Dogman, one from Color Hex, and one from Persia. And I still think I want to go for Persia once more. Uh, let's see how he ends up using Coalescence this time, if he gets value out of it at all.
Time to
When faced with a I am ready to
Game
unleash
on.
coalescence. My ultimate is ready. Join me.
Get back. I recommend moving behind the barrier.
no. Defense matrix activated.
For your own safety, get behind the barrier.
Restoring you.
This
Is my will. Gale the Mahol. Heroes never die. Surrender to my will.
Vamos, esculacha!
不许走！
The battle
This will
continues.
restore you.
I'm healing. Need help. I'm healing.
Rocket barrage incoming. Cover me.
Allow me.
Hello.
Alright, so again, an unfortunate fight for the Uprising. Persia didn't get much value out of his coalescence. He was able to keep his teammates alive for a short period of time when the Rain popped the sound barrier, but that's about it. After Oster popped his Blizzard, the Uprising just fell, and even though probably one of them called out that the fight was winnable and Kalahex used his barrage, the Rain were able to hold on to the point. So, the next fight, right. Okay, Fusions is the only one up with his ultimate right now, so let's spectate him. And right now, in this position, Supercharger will be of pretty good value because you don't see the Rain coming up on a lot of ultimates. You do see FRD like very close to self-destruct, and he could potentially use that to like push back the uprising a little bit after they deploy the supercharger. So we'll have to see how FRD counters Fusion's bongos when he deploys them. But we also see Blase coming up on his own self-destruct, so it's going to be really interesting to see what happens. So right now, Fusion should just be looking to engage well, pop his supercharger, and maybe get like one kill at least while it has been deployed, since his team's damage will be increased after deploying it.
Coalescence is charging.
My ultimate is almost ready. I'm gonna have to shoot you down.
Establishing
Whoa! Genius. And that was the team fight. I mean, there was no proper team fight there. You saw Pokpo use really an amazing halt right above this point to pull fusions into the water. That was brilliant, like a really good move by Pokpo. And because of that, I'm gonna spectate him now. uh, so you see both, all four of the tanks actually coming up with their ultimates. You've got two self-destructs, you've got two superchargers, and the Rain seems to have control of the point. And this is one fight territory. If they win this next fight, they're gonna win the point and the map. So let's see if the Uprising is able to clutch that point back.
Activating self-destruct sequence. Hunters engaged.
Nice.
Game on.
Dein Schutzengel ist da.
Nerf this.
Get behind
Cease your resistance.
Ice wall.
Cease your resistance.
Helden sterben
Stop
nicht.
right there.
Gale the Mahol!
Enemy spotted.
Oh, let's break it. Damn!
Moving behind.
Justice rains from above.
Time to raise my APM. Ejecting.
Turn it up.
Alright, so you saw FRD on the Diva getting an early self-destruct kill onto Color Hex, which was quite crucial, and under normal circumstances that would have won the map for the Rain, but the Uprising is able to push in regardless and just frag out harder than the Rain and get the point back. Right now you can see that the Rain are at an ultimate advantage, and we are going to see how they end up. Specifically, let's see how Dogman ends up using his coalescence in this regard. Um, yeah, this is again still one fight territory for the Rain. The Uprising still need to win maybe 4 or 5 team fights in order to completely secure the point. So let's see if the Rain are able to get this back, because they do have a pretty good ultimate advantage right now with the coalescence and the blizzard. So this should be a winnable fight for them, really.
Give yourself to the rhythm.
Hiya.
Watch your
I'm
back.
under attack. Allow me to repair the damage.
Let's up the tempo. Oh, this is my jam.
Repairing the damage.
I recommend moving behind my back.
Surrender to my will. Gale the Mahol!
Freeze. Don't move.
Routing navigation system.
Justice rains from above.
What is that?
Fire.
What an insane clutch.
Helden sterben nicht.
Enemy spotted.
Secure the objective.
Accelerate.
The power of destruction.
Knocking them off.
Victory.
That's the map. So in the last fight, we did see the Rain pushing on from the non-boopable kind of side area of the point, and Dogman, as you normally see Moiras do, popped coalescence right after they engaged, ended up applying pressure to them as much as possible. Didn't get a lot of value out of it since Color Hex immediately shut him as well as Masa down with his enormous barrage, which was pretty good play by him. And the Uprising would have won that fight had it not been for the Rain's presence of mind to play around Poco's shield and just in general frag out and get picks on the Uprising. So really good play by the Atlanta Rain. This is why they were almost at the top of the meta game in stage 4. And the Rain just the Uprising just feel bad for them. They weren't able to play RCK. I think he had got some health issues. They weren't able to put him on that off-tank role. And I'm sure if he were there, he would have done a better job than Blase. But props to Blase as well, because he did do a decent job on the Diva, especially getting Earth's Blizzard in that first round. And obviously, you guys might wonder why I'm not spectating certain roles as much as others. For example, I haven't spectated main support or off tank that much, and honestly, I think it's because the higher impact roles in this meta, the main tank, the flex support. and both the DPS, and more so the Mei than the Reaper, because the Mei, like Meis are the ones who can make the more big brain plays, so to speak, walling off opponents, sectioning them off from their teams, and that's why I'm spectating like certain roles more than others, and obviously the ultimates, which I've spoken about so much, and and yeah, another question which might pop into your minds is why Moira so much? Because you may see like some other ultimate up and some like Moira's ultimate up, and you'll see me generally go and watch Moira. And the reason is because she's like super strong in this current meta, and especially in the next patch with Sigma coming in and Orisa Sigma being like the double barrier setup being a thing. Moira is going to be extremely vital because she can send her orbs as well as coalescence through barriers and still get value out of them. She's going to be even stronger when Diva is played less and less because there's nobody to eat the orbs that she actually ends up throwing. So, like, yeah, really important to improve your Moira play right about now if you're a flex support or a main healer player. Uh, so yeah, I think that's all from me for now. This is going to be my last award review for the week. I'm not sure if I'm going to be reviewing any of the play-ins or playoffs matches. They're just kind of a fun exercise for me. Still have no feedback from anybody, so I would appreciate it if you guys would comment if you like the things you liked and disliked about my award reviews right now. Because if the community likes it, I'll end up doing more of these, right? I don't mind doing that. Like this is just kind of a side venture for me right now. I'm just doing this as a hobby, like Overwatch analysis and stuff. This is not like the main path that I've chosen for myself. Uh, anyway, thank you guys for watching. Do like the video, share it if you like, and comment on it. Do let me know your feedback. That's all from me, Proilios, signing out. Bye bye.